Hey everyone, we are live. It's Dawn and TV yet again for another week of Mocha Dip and our travels into Hotel de Luna. We are now up to episode 11
Oh
in
my gosh.
our talks. Um, let's see here.
Having some technical difficulties again.
TV has finished out the series. I have not, so we're taking it a little bit slow. Um, so yeah, episode 11. Um, I'm a little hurt. I know it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, but I'm a little hurt. Okay. One thing that we mentioned last week, serial killer dude. I did get a chance to see that he had Kim Yuna's photo. He had her picture. He had a whole bunch of details about her. He went up to her school and was like
I
stalking
know.
her.
He was super
Yeah,
crazy.
he's super crazy. And then it doesn't help that, the girls that she was in school with are all like, oh, yeah, that's Kim Yuna. Are you sure you want her to be a celebrity? Because he lied and he said, I'm I saw her and I'm basically a talent scout.
Isn't that like
And
crazy how they just gave up information like that?
yes.
That's why I won't be telling nobody nothing.
And I will say this as someone that used to manage a retail store, as someone who takes their own privacy into account for a lot of things. If someone comes up to you and they're like, "Hey, I'm looking for such and such and I heard they work here." Don't do not engage. Just don't, because you don't know the can of crazy you are about to step into.
You better look at a badge number or something.
I want to see a warrant. I don't even want to see a bet. If I have to give up information like that, real talk. If someone comes in and they're like,
You
"Hey,
said
we
a
heard,"
warrant. They might be trying to get another job at the FBI. They ain't gonna be no warrant, I don't think. Though you should go through your HR representative to make sure that that person's legit before you talk to them.
if someone comes up to, well, I will say this.
You said a
If
warrant.
if no, 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 because see, you're looking at it through a different context.
I am. There's no one's
Yes.
going to ever bring you a warrant to talk to somebody. They're not going to bring you a warrant.
So, like, look, like I said, if someone is searching for someone and they come up to me, I want a warrant.
Oh, you ain't going to ever
Now,
get a warrant.
now, if a coworker or someone has told me, "Hey, I interviewed at the FBI," and they might call you, that's totally different.
True. You got forewarning at that point.
Because yes, you have forewarning, and the person in question has already said this is a safe thing to do. Otherwise, that might be your crazy ass ex husband that just happened to have a badge,
You're right. You might
or
be.
your
But
crazy tail ex wife.
you remember somebody did the same thing and we didn't think anything was going to come of it. And then they called. They, they called to verify what was sent in the mail. Did not expect that, but they did. So yeah, the FBI might call for real, but you should check. Don't put people, you know, right? Yeah, don't put people on your application that you can't warn ahead of time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Be like, y'all,
That
the popo about to come visit you to make sure I'm good.
you know. And I know people that have applied for government positions. I have applied for government positions, and that has happened. Yes.
Yeah, it happened to me with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also happened to me with some people too. But still,
But still, we were able
I did
to
not expect them to go out there.
look. One office that I was working in did have to have a higher level of security than just the regular background check.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine my surprise when I go in there and I'm talking to them. They roll up. They had everything. They had my school transcript from college. They had my credit report. They were like, okay, so what's the deal with this bill and this bill? Huh?
Wow. Yeah, they
Okay.
want to make sure you ain't stealing no money.
You
Retail,
know,
retail is super serious. Y'all don't know that retail be having stuff on you too. They got a database. If you work retail and they find out you stealing, they gonna put your name out there. I'm just saying. Jobs are not
yes.
a joke. But we digress.
Look, we are digressing majorly. Yes, stay away from stranger danger. If you don't
Yes,
know
that is a good tip.
if you don't know who they are and they are searching for someone that you may or may not be friends with, don't say nothing. Just
Yeah, don't, because they might turn into taken.
yep. They might
That's
tell
called social engineering, folks.
look, taken, you may end up on an episode of Chicago PD, Law and Order SVU, something. And real talk, you don't want that on your conscience. Anyways, back to back to serial killer dude and Yona.
Perfect
Um,
example right there.
yes, yeah, that is the reason why this whole thing. Yeah. Um. So yeah, he was like searching for her. She had all of the ghosts around her, and she did like a composite sketch. I was mad. Okay, I was annoyed that it took her that long to take it to Chengsung.
Because she didn't want to.
I know, but
You know how many
still.
people try to solve stuff on their own?
Listen,
You do it too.
look, she ain't got a great name. So
You don't either.
we ain't talking about me, we talking about her. Uh-huh. Anyways, um yeah, so she had a composite sketch that she put together of dude. It was his side pro. It was actually really good. You
I
know,
know, really?
yeah, I'm like, ooh, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, that could be fan art on somebody's website.
Girl, don't do that.
Oh, but yeah, that was we were yeah, so she had the composite sketch. Then we had to deal with some other stuff. We saw at the beginning, we saw that was at the beginning where we saw he was starting to search for her. She was starting to put together the composite sketch. She told Chengsun what the deal was with the victims, and Chengsun told her, leave it alone. If you see
Right,
anything, bring it to me.
right.
So then we go into the whole thing about the eclipse, and we have some other stuff jump off. Evidently, during the lunar eclipse, that is the only time that humans can see the hotel.
Yes, without
And
being dead. Yeah.
yes, they can see the hotel without them being dead or their lives being in danger. So they were like, okay, well, there's this one couple that we have. They're going to spend their honeymoon because dude's parents had spent their honeymoon there, and File Not Found room was rocking. Nobody came a knocking, and 9 months later popped out a soccer star.
So they try to pop out another kind of star.
Yeah.
Get your falling star and put it in your pocket.
Oh, he was trying to put it somewhere.
Not in her pocket.
It wasn't a pocket. So they were doing that, and Sanchez was talking about his long distance girlfriend Veronica, and this kind of hurt. This kind of hurt, because he was all excited, and he was trying to convince Changsun to let them go to Hotel de Luna, because he wanted to take her to a hotel that she had never been to before.
Because she all fancy.
Yeah.
Just like Sanchez is fancy, y'all.
Okay. Adorable moment. Adorable moment. When they were on the phone, and she was like, "Oh, Sanchez, te amo." Just watching a K-drama and hearing someone speaking in Spanish in a K-drama, it's like in Vincenzo, hearing him speak Italian in a K-drama. It's just a whole different level. It just hits totally different.
Question:
And
was she speaking Spanish, or was she speaking Italian?
Oh, that's right. She was in Singapore.
But she, remember, they did the Italy thing later on. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, because I think it's the same phrase in Italian as well. I think. I'm not sure. We might have caught a faux pas though.
I'm not 100% sure either. But dude is Korean with a name like Sanchez.
I'm still trying to figure that out myself, but I also find, considering my name, that sometimes parents just pick names because they like how it sounds.
Yeah. But so yeah, Changsun was like, I don't think I can. You may want to think of something else, yada yada yada. So Sanchez is a little like, Changsun made another move in breaking the wall between him and Manuel. And that was the whole Sanchez speaks to you very informally.
Oh,
would it be okay if I talk to you that informally as well? And she's like, oh, you want to talk to me informally? And I think before they got a clear yes or no, that was when he found out about the horses. Or he confronted her about about selling the horses from the old man. And Manuel, she is a piece of work. She is a piece of work.
Keep running. They keep running that joke over and over again.
Which one?
You'll see what I'm talking about. And I think the next, that too, girl, that tiger stripe and the horses keeps running that joke. And the sad part is, when they run that joke, they spin the version of it so it makes different meaning every time they tell the daggone joke. I give them credit for that. That's good writing. Because you're beating that joke to death a little bit, but it literally has a different meaning this time, because when you bring it up again, it's like, wow, you really refreshed that. I'll give you points on that.
Because when the tiger stripe suit, back a few episodes, Manuel was wearing this tiger print leggings thing.
She was wearing something.
Yeah, and so she tells Changsun, if you sell this painting, I will get you a suit that looks just like this. and she lifts up her leg and slaps her leg, right? And she's like, "You
Mm-hmm.
look so good." Oh my
Did
god!
she also threaten him like that when she first met him because of his shoes? She was talking about she was gonna get him that too.
I don't know.
I think she did it twice. The first time she just talked about it. It was almost like a throwaway comment. But then when she was wearing the leggings, and she mentioned it, it was like that was the second mention. Because she did buy him them wingtip shoes too.
Yeah, she
Because she was
brought
tired of
him
his poop brown shoes.
in. But but no, to me it was hilarious because we see she goes and she does the mannerisms like, "Oh, you look so good in a suit like that," and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she's talking to Sanchez about selling the horses, she's like, when this happens, I'll get you a white suit and you'll look all good." And the same mannerisms. And I'm like, oh Lord, she gonna get this man a white suit.
He was like an ice cream.
You know?
If he had got that suit, I would have been like, "Hey, ice cream."
Yeah, I can't hit that pitch, so I ain't even gonna try to sing it. Blackpink's Ice Cream.
I thought that's where you were going.
Looks so good and looks so sweet. Baby looking look good enough to eat.
Mm-hmm.
He is really cute. He
He
is.
is. He is cute. And he comes with pizza. Unlimited pizza.
I can hear my arteries clogging right now.
I can't. There's too many carbs.
So, okay, now on to the hurtful part.
Mm.
So it's the next day of the lunar eclipse, and
It does feel cute to say lunar eclipse, though, don't it?
yeah. So Sanchez is sitting down and he's waiting for Veronica to arrive, and he has an engagement ring that says "Marry Me." He has a cake with a picture of the two of them on it, and then you see a female figure walking towards him, and he's still talking like, "I haven't heard anything from her. I'm worried about her. Normally she would have sent a text or something if she was being held up." And he's just going on about how he feels like there's something not right, but he's in the camp of no news is good news. But right now, something is not, the pieces aren't fitting exactly together.
Right.
And then he gets the phone call. He jumps up and he leaves. And then you see the woman sit down basically in front of him, where he would have been.
Yeah. Looking at it. Like,
She's looking at everything, totally in shock. And she has injuries here and down her dress. He did not see her at all.
Because she was a ghost.
And you're like, no.
Gone. Gone.
So
At least they start playing Bride McKnight. One, you're like a dream come true. Two. That would have sucked. It would have been appropriate though.
I got you beat.
Oh, what you got? What you got?
Break My Heart, Tony Braxton.
Oh,
I hate that song.
And that is an accident. And that's an accident. That is an accident.
Yes.
Motorcycle accident, but an accident nonetheless with a vehicle.
You know I do not like that song.
For many reasons.
Yes. But yeah.
That would have tore it up.
I think I would have closed the episode and just been like, bump it.
I can see that. I can see that knowing you.
Yeah.
and you would have missed some satisfaction. But yeah.
And so things happen. A few of the ghosts, they got to make their little dream calls. A father and son that passed away, they got to give closure to the person that was driving with their accident. It
Mm-hmm.
was a young man. He was driving a truck. The little boy ran out into the road. The father ran to save him, and this driver hit both of them and killed them both.
Mm-hmm.
And as ghosts, they're like, the father was like, I want to talk. At first, he was like, I want to talk to my wife. He filled out all of the paperwork to talk to his wife. When he got there, he's like, I only get one phone call, right? And they're like, yeah. And then he goes, okay, I want to call the guy that hit us. And Manuel is like, we can't do, you know,
Vengeance calls.
vengeance calls. We can't do that. And he's like, no, this is totally not a vengeance call. And we find out that the person that hit him and his son, and in our terms, he's a kid. Like we are Tia and I, we are not as young and spry as some. We act like it, we just aren't. But even in comparison, this dude is what?
He was like, this dude's a kid. Yeah.
He
What was he,
is.
25, 30? I don't know. He's a
No,
kid.
he,
You make it sound like we're 60 years old or something. That's funny, y'all. I am 72. I'm now told you. I've exposed my age. Oh my God, now you know.
uh-huh. I didn't know if you wanted to know wanted everyone to know exactly how old you are.
How old I am or how old you are?
How old you are.
How old? Now they know I'm 72.
Okay, my whole thing with age. I am 43 years old.
Girl, you young.
But when I talk to
Like a
people
baby.
about it,
Like a baby. Just a baby.
uh-huh.
I'm old enough to be your mama.
You, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there because as far as the maternal unit is concerned, the maternal unit has been 21 since I've been 5. So,
Really?
yeah, she's still
My
holding on to that.
my mom actually tells me her age.
Well, I tell my macaroni heathen my age. I tell everybody my age for the simple fact that, like, yeah, I'm 43. So what? I act like I'm 12 half the time.
I didn't say nothing. I thought we was talking about your mom.
So, oh man.
There is a point to this, right?
I totally forgot what the point
The
was.
driver wanted to give up on driving.
Yes, he wanted to give up on driving. And so the father called him and told him, what happened was a tragic accident and it was not your fault, which is, I hate to say it like this, it's the only kind of thing that you could say to someone like that, because
Yeah, they don't want to hear it from anybody else. So to hear it from the victim
because
is
um a little bit of TMI. I think that was the only thing that the detective in my knuckleheads accident. My older brother passed away a few years ago. He was in a motorcycle accident, and once the investigation and everything was over, it was determined it was a true blue accident. Um, so the only words of comfort that I could even give, because of what happened, and I will not go into detail, but I just told the detective, I'm like, can you let the driver know that our family, we don't hold anything against him. We know it was an accident. We do not have him at fault at all for what happened. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the only closure or relief you can give someone in that kind of situation. Um, moving on, because I feel my eyes getting all yeah. Uh, oh, Yuna almost got into an accident herself. Let's get back to
No,
her.
she didn't.
Yes, she
No, she
did.
didn't. That was on
Okay,
purpose.
it wasn't an accident. It was on purpose.
Exactly. Y'all, serial killer thought it would be cute to kind of stalk her, and when she was about to cross the street, rush into her like he was about to, oh my God, I'm sorry, I almost hit you.
And he did that. See, he made two mistakes when he did that. One mistake was he was doing it, and she had a paper in her hand. She had a little spiral notebook in her hand. She wasn't paying attention. It could have been very, very, very messed up for her. But she had a book in her hand. So that was first mistake, because he doesn't know it, but we do. That's what a composite sketch is. So, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he stayed there too long, because she just looked and said, "Okay," and then she started backing away. If he wouldn't have said anything, she would have just been like, oh, okay, and stepped back, and not I don't think she would have seen that ghost that's standing behind him looking at him all like,
True, I don't think she would have, but he kills people for the power
yeah,
trip. And he couldn't resist trying to torture her by trying to pretending to run her over.
yeah,
And then because it was very calculated the way he did it. And then he tried to act like nothing happened, and he was hoping that she would do something. I'm not sure what he wanted her to do, if he just wanted to scare her and he got his jollies off of that, because he seemed genuinely surprised.
that she started following him.
Right. It was almost like he was unsure that she was a problem. So I almost look at it as he was saying, hey, this girl could be a problem or not, but she might be my next victim that I'm gonna shop for. We'll see. I
Yeah,
think if she hadn't really started getting any headway and do what she does later on, he probably just would have took his time and then just killed her like he did everybody else.
yeah. So we find out a couple things. One, the victims of the serial killer were put up on a website. And I don't want to get too into it, because I don't want anyone to sit back and say, "Oh, we got the idea from." Yeah, no, it was. If you're gonna get it from the show, get it from the show. Don't get it from me. Um,
Now, to me, that seems like something that doesn't seem American.
no,
The way that was done, that
yeah,
seems like that's a completely different culture. I could see something. I could think of how we would do it as Americans if we was going to be shady like that. It
yeah,
wouldn't be too far off from that, but literally the subject matter and how it was all done was very Korean, which is what it's a Korean show. It makes sense.
Yeah, so the names are put up on this website, and the police detectives are trying to find connections and whatnot to the killer, who they think is one of the victim's husbands. The haha oops of the whole thing is that the one ghost that is not at Hotel de Luna right now is the victim's is the accused wife.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sitting here still lurking behind dude.
Right. She's the ghost in the car.
She's the ghost in the car. She's the one that's lurking behind him. She's the one that Chang Sun saw when he went into the bar, because Yona followed serial killer dude in, and he parked the car. He went inside this bar.
That's his
Yona,
bar.
oh, it's his bar?
Yeah, he owns that bar.
Okay. So Yona shows up and she calls Chang Sun finally and tells him what's going on. He goes chasing after her. He sees that she's okay, and he's like, I told you not to do this. And she's like, but I couldn't let it go. And he looked just like my composite sketch. And she gives him the sketch again, finally.
Recognition.
Chang Sun is like, it's one of those like you could hear the record scratch.
Yes, girl. I
Like
did feel like I heard it.
He looks at he's looking at the sketch, and then you just hear
in your mind, though. In your mind.
In your mind. And Yona's like, what's going on? And he's like, this looks he's like, this looks like someone I know. And he's like, I'll deal with this. You go home.
You know, it's the thing that's super crazy to me is it's not one of those, it's somebody I know. I can't believe it. No, it's somebody I know who's also a douchebag. This is within their capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
That made that a whole other level.
Yeah. Yeah, so Chang Sun is like, leave. I'll handle this. You need to leave. So she leaves. Chang Sun is about to go in there. Man Wall is looking for Chang Sun.
Right.
And she's about to go to his house. Now, Man Wall, the past couple of episodes, has been happy. So the flowers on the tree have been blooming
like
and
crazy.
thriving. Like the hotel staff is they're all like, we need to figure out what we are going to do, because she will not be here for much longer. Mm-hmm. So we need to make our arrangements to cut and run. So she goes to look for, she's leaving now. At an earlier point in the episode, Chang Sun gave her a rose. She put the rose in a wine bottle. As she was leaving to go look for Chang Sun, that rose was dead. So she's like trying not to look into it too much.
Was the rose dead? I thought it was just the petals falling off.
No, it was all wilted and keeled over, and 2 petals were off. So, and that was something that happened overnight. And me, considering that a lot of the females in my family take care of flowers, I'm sitting there, I'm like, was there wine or something still in the bottle? How did it happen overnight? Man, what you do? You ain't put Miracle Girl in there.
I knew they were trying to foreshadow. That was all the point that I needed to get. The petals falling off like this Beauty and the Beast, and I knew some junk was jumping off. And I'm waiting for Mago to show up now.
So she goes to his house and she starts looking for him.
Because he said he was going to be there. Because she called and they spoke before Yuna called him and said, I'm in trouble.
Yes. So she went to his house. She's looking for him. And it's one of those, it's funny you say that something about Mago showing up. Mago showed up.
The scary one.
The scary one, like, take no prisoners, Mago. Yeah. The one that had Yuna by the throat and was like, I will end you.
Literally.
Yeah. So now they're talking. Chang Soon goes into the bar and now he is being confronted with serial killer dude. And the wife's ghost is all like, And I'm just like, look, and I'm just sitting there like, if he had anything to do with Veronica's death, it is on site. He hurt
girl,
my
please.
Sanchez. He hurt my Sanchez.
Please, girl. Veronica was in Italy. No, she was in Shanghai when she died. She was in Singapore?
Yeah, Singapore.
He ain't in Singapore. He in Korea killing people and trying to run them over. He ain't got time.
I'm just saying.
Besides, with Sanchez, he would probably want to make him kill himself like he tried before.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd outright do it. He likes going after weaker prey or whatever he thinks that is.
Mm-hmm. That could be why. Look, that could be why. When Chang Sun confronted him back in the day, he picked up and left Harvard when running back to South Korea.
Yeah, because he a punk. He don't want to deal with somebody the same size as him or the same power structure as him. He only want to deal with people who are weaker and don't have means.
Yeah. And the ex Mirai and the cop, they are always arguing. Sanchez comments that they always spend time together, but they're always arguing. Maybe like they were enemies in the past life or something. And Shankson is like, they were.
Except they ain't talk.
Yeah, he stole her brooch, and then that was about it. That was really about it, and it was like,
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I am enjoying it. I know I'm about to start crying. I feel it.
Oh, they went for the feels the rest of the episodes. They did. I'm gonna tell y'all, I finished it. Yeah, they're gonna go for the feels the rest of the episodes. So just go ahead and get ready, especially the last two. But there's something good happening in the next episode.
Okay.
I think like,
I think I know. I may have seen it in the previews. Not sure.
Okay.
But I have also started My Roommate is a Gumio. And
you started that yesterday, right?
No, that one I didn't start anything yesterday because I'm telling you, the past couple of days I've been feeling like someone is just pulling out the plug.
Was it Monday that you started it then?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I watched it on Monday. Um, that was hilarious.
I have a
Simply
question for you after you mention this.
simply because of the circumstances that are going on and the facial expressions that the lead actress can pull off.
She got crucial looks like Ron Weasley.
Yes. Because instead of just, okay, with everything going on, I'm skipping a whole bunch of stuff. With everything going on, he goes and he tells her, I'm a Gumio.
Oh,
And
he's the Gumio, not her.
yes, he is the Gumio.
Oh,
And
that's
he
gonna be crazy.
and he tells her he's like the only male Gumio born in like quite some time.
Is he Ninetail?
He They have it that as you get older and you get more power, you get more tails.
Oh, he got to earn that. Okay.
Yeah. So his desire was to be human. And so this deity gave him a red pearl that he has to turn blue with human energy. And for every 100 years, another tail will blue. He'll get another tail, you know, to mark his time. So yeah,
Okay.
he tells her, "I'm a Gumio," and she's looking. She's like, "Okay, yeah, right, sure." Right about now, she's feeling mad uncomfortable because her best friend just threw up all over his car.
Ew.
She passed out and she woke up in a house that she has no clue where she is, right?
Okay, that's creepster.
Yeah, yeah. Like the last thing she remembered was tripping and falling, this dude trying to catch her. And then that was it. That was the last thing that she remembers. Okay. So he goes and he's like, okay, fine. I guess the only way that you'll believe me is if I show you. And then he transforms. Now the maternal unit was sitting there laughing at me because I just went and I was just like, oh, he's so pretty. Oh. He transforms into this huge white fox with all of the tails and just he
How
just
many tails does he got?
it looked like he had 8.
Oh, he's close.
Yeah. But he was so pretty. He really was.
Okay.
Now, he's standing over her and looming. He's
Like
also like
Sesshomaru?
Sesshomaru is a dog demon,
I
but
knew that. And that's also Japanese, but I'm just talking about like size wise.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
dude is like a 10, 11 foot fox. So she falls back and instead of just being like ah, like most women would be, she's like ah! I'm like, why is she so extra?
That's her way.
She
So,
went, she went, she has a younger brother that that she was staying with. Her mom, her mom, single mom household. Mom went to the States and is a fashion coordinator or something, and so she just sends money and stuff back. Um,
okay. Oh,
they have over the front door as as like a family motto. Over the front door is written, "You live your own life yourself. You figure out your own life yourself."
then why are we sending money?
She sends money and clothes. I think the brother is still in high school.
Oh, we still got to support some people
Right.
legally.
Yeah, and the heroine is in she's in college.
Okay. This is
And
new adult.
so Shin, the Gumyo, he was like, you know what? Because you have to live with me because of everything that's going on, I'll pay your tuition. Don't worry about it. And so she's like, oh, okay, okay.
I ain't mad.
No, she is. Look, it's one of those like, I'm sorry, excuse me, what?
Oh,
You
it's
need to
that kind of excuse me.
you need to figure this out with the last line of the episode. The last line of the episode, they're talking about because she swallowed um the jewel that he had.
Oh, oh, that's what I was thinking. Go
So
give him some
now
X-Lax.
so now the jewel is in her.
It ain't coming out.
The jewel is also turning blue.
Well, that's some human energy.
So he told her that he has to figure out a way to get the jewel out of her in the next year.
X-Lax, and he'll get it in a couple days
And
or
she's
a
just
day.
like, okay, so either way, this whole thing will solve itself. In a year, I can go back to my life and everything will be good.
This is not designed to come out in, is it? Because I'm like, X-Lax would have got that out. I'm just saying.
No, he looks at her dead in the eye and is like, if we don't figure out how to get this out in a year, you're going to die.
Ooh. Definitely take the X-Lax.
So she's looking all like, what? And
Huh.
then the music starts playing.
Oh, and we get the lens flares,
Yeah.
and then
The lens
it's
flares and the polka. Yeah.
Subway the sponsor, or McDonald's or KFC.
I think KFC because her and her friends were tearing up some chicken. But no, my roommate is a Gumio is the next one on my list that I'm going to be watching.
Okay, well, sounds like it sounds intriguing. So here's my question: going back to Hotel de Luna. Now, having seen so many episodes, one of the things that I like about it is their ability to tell a cohesive story in the hour that it has, where it feels like it's so much more. Even though they're really unpacking so much, it doesn't feel rushed, even within an hour. And I personally like that storytelling ability that they have, because what they're doing, the level of story that they're telling in the time that they have, there are other movies that don't even tell a portion of that story and then do it well.
Yes.
I mean, they're really unloading a lot of details.
Yeah, and it's like even as I'm going through and I'm telling what went down in the episode, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, did I skip anything?
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing stuff? Because we all know there's a lot to unpack here in each
Yes.
episode. There are
Yes.
a lot of K dramas that do that and do it well, where you sit down and you feel like you've been watching a high level movie. And it's
Well,
like,
excuse me.
well, damn, you know?
Well, you know what? Yes, I do. Because I was actually at my book club yesterday. Eternals came up, and that's by a Chinese female director. Does she have anything to do with K dramas or even Chinese dramas? Well, I don't know. However, one of the things that I noticed with her storytelling is she too, with the 2 hours roughly that she had, told a lot of story, and it had like 10 characters. And I feel like she paced it well and gave everyone time where you didn't feel like you were really losing out. Did you get to go into great detail about every character? No, but it also wasn't necessary. for what you were trying to tell. You want to have something for the future because everybody, there is no story where it necessarily makes sense for everyone to be interesting. You can have 10 characters and only like one or two are interesting at a time, or that the reader may care about at a
And
time
see
because
that
it didn't be ready for it yet. You know what I mean?
and that's a pitfall of a lot of American shows, I will say. Um when they have like a huge ensemble cast like the Eternals or Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or any big ensemble cast. What I have seen happen more often than not is that you have, instead of having one character, one or two characters be interesting for this storyline, and then once that storyline is complete, it leads into another one where it showcases another set of characters. Instead of seeing that, we just get those two at most interesting characters ever.
Right. It just keeps on, and keeps
Right.
on.
Which is one which was one of the things that I was worrying about with with Thor, because and Hulk to a point, because if you look, everyone had their own individual movie to showcase them. Captain America had the first Avenger, Iron Man, Tony Stark had Iron Man 1 and 2. We got an Ed Norton Hulk, which was a decent movie. It's just that then things happened. Rumors were going around saying that Ed Norton didn't want to be part of an ensemble cast, or he wanted too much money, or what, I don't know. Um, so then he was replaced by Mark Ruffalo, and then no one wanted to deal with another introduction movie to the Hulk.
Yeah, all those other Hulk movies, even though they weren't as interesting, are still canon.
And then um and then with Thor, we had Kevin Branagh doing the first one. People had mixed feelings about it because it was done by Kevin Branagh, and a lot of people didn't realize that Kevin Branagh's pocket is Shakespeare. And so they were like, yeah, we don't like the way it felt like Shakespeare. Did you not see the director?
Well, that's assuming that you're even familiar with that director to begin with, because I was not. Now, I wasn't going around saying it
Really?
felt like Shakespeare either. I was not familiar with his work. Girl, you
Well,
know I
you're
don't be watching nothing like that. Think about me and then think about you. You, like, first off, that's part of your time zone too. That 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 area is part of your time zone because you got a span of, I want to say, good 70 years that you like to watch period pieces of. Borgia's, Three Musketeers, Tale of Two Cities, Count of Monte Cristo, all that stuff. You watch those period pieces like that take place in that zone in Europe. You love those movies, so of course you know who he is. Duh. Now, while I read some of those books in school and some of them as adult, the Count of Monte Cristo is the only one I could really get behind. Would consider the Three Musketeers. Are these movies terrible? No, I'm just not into them like that. So if something else is on, I'm going to go for something else. But you are never going to pass that up. So I would expect you to immediately pick up on any Shakespearean theme, any Three Musketeers or Robin Hood type vibes, all of that. I would expect that from you because that's part of that's something that you're into. So the really is kind of like, no, no, that's not a really. It's a really for you, but it's not a really for me. And yes, I just read you, but it's okay. I didn't say anything bad. It's just who you are, Musketeer girl.
Well,
Alexandre Dumas.
you are familiar with at least one piece that
Oh,
of Kevin Branagh.
oh, what is it?
Well, he didn't direct it. This was a pure I'm gonna be an actor and I'm gonna enjoy it thing that
Oh,
he
okay.
did.
What was it?
He's the teacher in the second Harry Potter, Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh, okay. I know Gilderoy.
Look, that's why his ass was so extra because
Yeah, he was extra.
he's used to
And he was
being
good
in
at that.
Shakespeare.
He was good at it too. He was. He was good at it. I ain't even mad. And I'm not saying that Thor was bad. The only thing about Thor that kind of got on my nerves was that dye job they gave Chris on his beard and his face. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
that's just too much blending in. Your face and your hair, all of that, and your beard. Is that what's the likelihood that all of that is the same color? Most
yeah,
people, that's not how it works. I'm sure there's somebody who's just white on the top and white on the hair and white in the skin and just white. But that's not most people.
yeah. And see, a lot of the like Thor 1 was passable. Thor 2 people hated. And I'm like,
I
okay,
actually went back and watched it and I was like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either.
yeah, and it was like a lot of people they hated that second one. So I'm like, okay, so basically they're going to make Thor into the throwaway Avenger where he's going to even though he's going to be so powerful and he's going to be um he's one of the originals for the Avengers in the MCU, they're going to treat him like Hulk, whereas like yeah, they're just there. Anything that you really learn about them, anything you really see about their characters, it's not going to be showcased in a movie. It's going to be in an Avengers movie. And then they
And
came
I
out with
agree
Thor
with you.
Ragnarok. Then they came out with
Yes.
Thor Ragnarok.
If Thor Ragnarok had failed, that's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
They took a gamble. They took a gamble and paid off so much that they carried it over into Avengers, and that was now Thor's character, less serious, doesn't take himself seriously, and I loved it actually. I loved the change they made with him because before he was just arrogant, and it was just like, okay, you're a superhero, that's cool, but then you got to see so much dimension from him that way, and I thought it was a good move, good choice.
Yeah. And it was like it kind of felt like a cop out until I actually saw Ragnarok because a lot of people were saying that they took a Thor movie and then they took Planet Hulk, which is a whole different comic, and smashed it together to make this movie. And I'm like,
In some ways,
I don't know how that would work.
and it
But
turned out to be awesome.
but they made it work. Who knew? Should have realized because Jeff Goldblum was in it. But hey.
I feel like when someone is a fan of a property, they can mash things together and it work out well. I would say 7 times out of 10. And the reason why I say 7 times out of 10 is because they also have to know the vision for the cutting room floor. It's almost like that. I feel like when these directors who also write, they not only have to have the love for the property, but they also have to know how much they have to shoot extra or what they can go without so that when they have to stitch it together, it still makes sense and it's still awesome. I think, yeah, that's important because that is the difference between seeing the first Justice League movie and then the Snyder cut. There was no way it was going to survive all that hack job and reshoots and things like that. And it made no sense. And everybody was like, no. If they had showed that first movie, it would have been totally different for the DC cinematic universe. I'm just saying. But now they're going to have to play catch up, and they have to be careful because they only got one shot.
Yeah. And see, I was thinking you would go a different way. It's a crapshoot when a fan does a property.
Mm-hmm.
When a fan makes a movie from a property, because you could have something great like Thor Ragnarok, because Thor Ragnarok it is one of the best MCU movies, MCU singular movies. It's one of the best. It is Thor's best movie, hands down.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it is.
Now, that being said, that's the difference between having Thor Ragnarok and then having something like Watchmen.
Which Watchmen?
The movie.
The show or the movie? Okay.
The movie. Now, and the reason why I say this is because the directors for the Watchmen, they were fans of the movie. They were fans of the comic. That is very true. It felt like they went frame by frame by frame.
They did.
Which is what people want.
But they don't want that. They don't want that. You're right. You're right.
And then it's like, wait a minute. Because real talk, that's the reason why I never finished reading the comic. Because
you don't need to.
One, you don't need to, and it's like, it's just tiring to see.
Yeah, you're right. No one wants to see an exact adaptation. You're right. They say they do, but they don't. They want to see something different. They don't want it to stray too far.
That was the same point that happened with Star Wars and the sequel trilogy.
Really?
When The Force Awakens came out, you could take The Force Awakens and A New Hope and count them off beat by beat. The same thing happening. Only difference is that now it's a girl named Rey versus a boy named Luke.
It goes even further than that because you read the books.
No,
you read the books.
No.
They threw all that trash away. What?
The books they threw away.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what I'm saying. It goes beyond even what you just said because they took what should have been was what was in the books and they threw that away and decided to just duplicate a movie from 40 years ago.
They duplicated A New Hope.
I agree with you.
And so people started hollering and screaming, this isn't what we wanted, this isn't what we wanted. This is a beat for beat replay of A New Hope. We don't want it, we don't want it, we don't want it. We wanted something different.
Yeah, but see,
so
that's
then
not, in my opinion, that's not an adaptation, though. I don't know what the heck that was.
So J.J. Abrams, a continuation. So J.J. Abrams comes in and he's like, okay, I'm going to do something different. And he turned everything on its head and went too different. And now everybody's like, no, we don't like this either.
It was a dumpster fire. I'm sorry. I gave up on them.
I had my worries when they said that Benicio Del Toro was going to be in the cast.
Well, he was also not the Watcher, oh my gosh, from nowhere.
Yeah, the Collector.
Thank you, the Collector. Thank you.
But see, here's the thing. At least with me, in my opinion, Benicio Del Toro is someone that gets a good role that suits him once every 4 or 5 years. He had The Collector. I wasn't expecting anything else from him.
Okay.
I could be proven wrong. But in my eyes, as it stands right now, yeah.
Yeah, like where is he at right now? I'm thinking he's still The Collector. Let's see. Yeah, I think he is.
Thanos killed him.
Well, he was also in What If.
So yeah, The Collector. Yeah, I'm not.
So he's still technically The Collector.
Yeah,
And then he has the opportunity to do flashbacks because now the multiverse is a thing.
but yeah, it's like I was taking it as instead of an adaptation, a fan of an entity.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause so Star Wars would fit under that umbrella more so. Yeah, it's just
See, they were a fan of an entity, but then they disrespected the entity. That's why I'm like, I don't know if that counts.
that's D&D, Game of Thrones. But that is a whole different talk show, ladies and gentlemen.
That it is.
We could sit here for another hour and a half and talk about the hot mess that was Game of Thrones.
I'm not talking about that.
And not even and not even so much that Game of Thrones, the whole show was a hot mess. It was just the end.
It
Okay.
was rushed. It was
Okay.
rushed.
Alrighty. We are at an hour and
Everybody
7
knows
minutes.
that.
We are over an hour going on. Next week we are going to we may talk about we'll split it up. We'll do a split episode. We will talk about how endings can ruin a beginning. Featuring Game of Thrones.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones.
I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones.
We are going to open up that can of worms.
I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones.
And no. This is a writer's crafty thing. Roll with me. Roll down with me.
Okay, Clueless.
And then we'll talk about episode 12 of Hotel de Luna. Okay, so we will be talking about how endings can mess up a beginning, and it can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
And you're right, it can.
Because there's also another series that I will talk about, and
it's not Halo Dyson, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a TV series that they screwed the pooch in the ending, and I am still salty about it.
Okay.
I'll
and this is something I've also seen.
No, but I've been trying to get you to watch it.
Oh, that thing.
I was trying to get you to watch it.
You know, I purchased that. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
But they screwed the pooch so bad at the ending that I'm just like, you know what? Not even gonna worry about it. Yeah, and that hurt because that was good. That was real
good. I think because they didn't get that other season where they could have done it properly, they tried to make it work at the last minute, maybe. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk
about it next week
because you're gonna be supporting that on your own because I ain't watching.
I can. I totally can.
I know you can.
So yeah. Um, this is Dawn and TV signing off. Do not forget to like and subscribe. We will see you guys next week at 7, and then we will be on vacay. And we will see you back in December, but then that's all. That we'll talk more about that next week too. So we'll see you then. Bye.